of the referral.
Like a summary of the workflow process.
And are you in regards to the referral?
Yeah, so let's say like a referral came in. Can you just give me like the general summary of how that new like more efficient workflow would look like?
Okay, perfect. So I would, if the patient wasn't already in the system, I'd go ahead and put the patient's demographic information that we have, and let me pull in just a blank one. So this would be about starting a referral from the beginning.
Yes, please.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just clicked on the down arrow just to make sure that there was not a referral already in place, and then from okay, so since there's no referral, I would just go ahead and put in a new referral. It's telling me what their insurance information is, and I can select their insurance. The reason for the referral, and I put in, I believe I put one in for nutrition, but this would be a list of the, whatever referrals that you would like to have. So nutrition therapy. If there was a provider that it was coming from, if there's or the specialty, and then who it's coming into, and this would be to your practice. The patient that I pulled up evidently has, previous diagnosis in the system for that, but I would put in what the diagnosis is, if it was obesity or, and again, this is not required, but this would be a place where I would put that in. And I also can indicate the number of visits. So if they're allowed 15 or 20 or if there's no limit, we can leave that blank. Or if there's a certain dollar amount that's set, and then I would just simply hit save.
Okay. And then can you go back to like actually inputting the patient? So I saw like create a new one, but it had kind of like it already populated the dashboard. Okay, so,
right. So if
they would go in there.
The patient registration.
Okay.
And I can put in, the patient's name. Spelled my sister's name wrong. Just go entering in the information, sex, gender, and you can determine what's required and what's not required. Some of these may be thinking, why are they asking for that? But some government reporting institutes require our practices to enter sexual orientation or gender ID. So it would just be based on what you want to be required fields. Patient demographics, zip code, cities, etc., email, home, phone number, address. You can enter the primary care provider if you'd like, and then we can hit register.
Okay.
That's your quick register because of demographics. If you wanted the more extended, where it requires more information, that's what that would look like. And then on the next field would be where I could enter their insurance.
Okay. And so from there, then it goes into the eligibility check. And,
that's correct.
And Jason's going to do the research to see what is communicated on that. And then,
correct.
And then that's where we would typically reach out to the patient via phone call. So then when we input this, we could automate the initial email and text message chain to go out, immediate, 2 days later, a week later, right? And that could be like, hey, we could guide them to the scheduling tool to be able to register for an appointment.
Yes, you got it.
And then
somehow you piece it together.
I'm like, summarizing this in my brain. It's moving slow.
No, it is. I mean, because there's a lot of moving parts to it, and I think also like Leading Reach. I know that part of their platform is like a patient calls up and you can send them like a link to your portal, like directions to the, to the location that they're going to be going to. They close the loop on the referrals themselves. So the primary care that refers them to you, like you're going to make sure that you receive, like there's a bunch of stuff there. So I kind of feel like you might not need any of that. You might be like fine with what we can offer, but you might be like, ooh, that's an extra added piece. And usually what I can do with Leading Reach is I can usually get those guys to say, okay, normally it's this much per month and so much, and it's not very expensive. I want to say theirs is like $2.99 a month and then like $100 a location per month, so it's not very expensive. But usually I can get them to throw in 6 months or a year in order to kind of like say, hey, look, if you go Greenway, I'm going to get this partner to throw in this piece, and and if it can help, great. And if it doesn't help, then you can just eliminate it without ever having to pay for anything or whatever too. Yeah. So I think kind of seeing what they can do, you might go, oh, they have that feature and that feature and that feature, and those weren't even things I was thinking about. That would definitely be helpful for us as well. And on that level, it might be like educational information. Like if they meet with a nutritionist, and the nutritionist has like 10 pieces of information that they like to give, they can just ask for the email address and get approval to send the patient information via email. And since they ask, it's like, it's okay to send it, like it's okay to put it in there. And then they can send that information off and they can actually see when the patient opened it. They can, so they know that they read it. There's like stuff like that that can be done. Yeah. So there's stuff like that that can be done with I mean, it's a lot more than just like closing the loop on referrals. And they work with, some big like HCA hospital systems, and, they're all over, like Kerrville area and Dallas, and I mean, all over the country really, with stuff that they've done, like kind of closing the loop on how all this stuff works with doctors and, practices and everything for care. So I think it's worth, an hour phone call with them to kind of go through and just see if there's any benefits to what they can offer as well.
Okay.
Cool. So unless there's something else you want to see now, I guess I'll take all these takeaways and go back. Like I said, my contact is out until Monday, but I'll be able to talk to him Monday. So next week sometime we could definitely so I think I'm going to be traveling either Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning. So hopefully he gets back Monday and we can line something up that works for him and you sometime early next week.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll get everyone on.
I'll be working on these other things. And if I get any other information like about Salesforce integration, they're like, no problem, that's not a problem at all. Then I'll just shoot you an email or give you a call, let you know what I find out as I get those pieces of info.
Okay, and then is there a ballpark for price that I can share with my boss? Because that's the one thing she's asking me for.
Sure. And so actually, and we would only be doing the practice management because you're doing your own EMR piece of it. And do we want to try to integrate that or not? Like, would we want to build an interface or not necessarily right off the bat, right?
Let's say not right off the bat.
Okay. Let me go in. I was kind of waiting for us to have this call, but let me go in this evening and I'll generate some like draft quotes on basically practice management for 20 nutritionists and add the practice analytics and everything. And then if I'm not traveling tomorrow, I'll call you, and whenever you have like 15 minutes, we can just do a go-to meeting. I can run you through it, and then I'm not supposed to send over the draft. So if it all looks good, then I'll push it through for approval, and then I'll just be able to send it over to you so you can review it with them, or I'll just send you the draft and just let you know it's just draft. It hasn't been finally vetted, but it'll give you a pretty good overview.
Okay, sounds good.
And just off the top of our head, I want to say our practice management bundle. Well, let me go run it because I'm not sure in our full practice in our full suite, it includes reminders and portal and mobile application, all that. In the practice management bundle, I think I have to like add in the reminders, and I think I have to add in the portal if you want it, and I think I have to add in some other stuff. So let me just go run it and see what I can piece all together, and then I'll call you and we'll set up a time to review it.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Caroline.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks for